We've got Belgium. Now, Belgium going through this golden generation with De Bruyne and the guys that, you've got Lukaku, you've got Thierry Henry and Martinez as the coach and coaching team there. You've got some fantastic players at Belgium at the moment, and I think, people are sort of suggesting at the Euros, if they didn't win it, that might be their biggest opportunity gone. And I think, they're still a strong team, some really good players, but I think that, they've got an opportunity to go quite far in this World Cup, and I don't think anybody should underestimate Belgium. And for England fans that remember in 1990, David Platt against Belgium, that amazing volley. Some memories there with Belgium. We've got the Brazilians, their current favourites. They've got an attacking talent like nobody else, haven't they? Led by the one and only Neymar. What a player, by the way. But I don't think he's the best player in the world. I think there's a lot of others. I say a lot. I think there's some natural ones in front of him. Obviously, a certain Lionel Messi who plays for Argentina, but is his club mate at PSG. You've got Mbappe. You've still got Cristiano Ronaldo. A bit of controversy of him at club football at the moment. I think the Brazilians are a team to watch out for. They've still got Thiago Silva at the back. I think Dani Alves is gone. This guy just seems to go on and on forever, doesn't he? They've got two of the best goalkeepers in the world. So who do you pick out of those two? I really, really don't know. Out of Alisson and Edison. So you've got Brazil, Cameroon. They're back in it. I remember 1990, first time I really heard of Cameroon myself. Roger Miller, that little dance he used to do after scoring a goal, and nobody really knew his age. Cameroon, looking forward to watching them. I've already mentioned Canada. I think they've got some exciting players there. Costa Rica, really good to see Costa Rica get into the World Cup. You don't always hear of Costa Rica, but it'll be good to see those guys. You got to the stables. You got Croatia, England opponents at the last World Cup, and struggled against them. To be fair, I think Croatia knocked England out, and they got a strong team. Modric's last tournament for Croatia there. You got Denmark. They had a good Euros. Started the Euros off really, really well. Ecuador, don't know too much about Ecuador, but another South American country that have progressed through, and it's no mean feat because there's a lot of countries in South America that go through the qualifying period. You play a lot of games in their group games, so fair play, well done to Ecuador to qualify. Obviously, got England. I think the England national team have had a bit of a down recently, haven't they? They come off the back of getting to the final in the Euros, and then they've lost a few, drawn a few, not really played that really exciting football. I think Harry Maguire has come in for a bit of criticism, as has Gareth Southgate. So it'll be interesting to see how they do and how they deal with the expectation, but being so far away from home, I'm not sure how many Brits will be travelling, but no beer, etc. It'll be interesting to see how they get on. You've got another one in the tournament, close favourites in France, absolutely fantastic team, but you never know which French team are going to turn up, and that's the same in rugby union, it's the same rugby league, and it's the same in football. They can be absolute world beaters on their day. But sometimes they're just not there, and they got some fantastic players this year. Obviously, you've got Mbappe, you've got Saliba at the back. I think Olivier Giroud is going to his third World Cup with France. People underestimate what a player he is, and I think I read something the other day. I think he's only four goals away from equaling the great Thierry Henry's all-time goal record for France. So let's not underestimate France. They've got a good midfield as well. They've got Didier Deschamps leading that, who's a World Cup winner himself. So, I wouldn't write out France. I think they're looking strong this year. Then we've got the Germans. Germans just excel and love tournament football, don't they? They're always there or thereabouts. Fantastic nation, big nation, love football. Have produced some absolute amazing players over the years, and I think the first real German team that I remember was the likes of Andreas Bremer and Lothar Matthäus. What a player, what a left peg he had. Bodo Illgner in goal, Klinsmann up front. Some amazing players. And that was back in the day when you had East and West Germany, by the way. But and then over the years you had the Euro 96 squad that knocked England out on penalties. Southgate's one obviously over the bar, but in that squad, Oliver Bierhoff, for example, what a player. Then we've got Ghana. Arsenal got representation there as well. I forgot to say about Arsenal representation in the France squad, actually. We've got William Saliba, who's probably got the best football chant in football at the moment, to the tune of Tequila. Saliba instead. Started the season absolutely fantastically well. And there's a lot of eyes on Saliba. But we'll go to Ghana. Ghana, we've got Arsenal representation as well. We've got Thomas Partey, who's been amazing centre midfield for us this season. But the Ghanaians, they look quite strong, and they're another country. On their day, they can be really strong and beat people, but sometimes you worry where they go. It's the same with a number of the African countries, I think. But it'd be good to see Ghana there. Iran in England's group. Iran are there. I'm not too sure how they'll fare. I know they've got a couple of players. I think they've got a young lad down at Brighton that plays for them. Japan, we got another Arsenal representation, Takehiro Tomiyasu, our amazing, he's such a utility man at Arsenal, but left back, right back, whatever, suffered a few injuries, but Japan look good as well. I think some of the football they play quite a high intensity game and very nimble, very energetic, so it'd be good to see those guys. Korea. The Korean Republic, they're there again. Don't know too much about a lot of their players, only a bit like England, one of their talisman as he plays for the team I don't want to talk about. So, we'll swiftly move on to my pick for this year, or my pick to follow is Mexico. Looking forward to seeing Mexico. I think they've had a real troublesome time with the football team for a little while. I don't think there's too much expectation on them, but let's see if they can pull up a shock. Morocco, I think they just about got through in their group. So, you get some real classy individual players from Morocco. Then you've got the Netherlands. So Holland, always a strong team with an amazing following. Always great to see their fans in the stadium, all the orange shirts and hats and scarves, etc. And I think they got some good players this year. I'm not sure they're going to get too far though. I don't think they're going to be one of the favourites to do too much. We've got Poland. Great nation, massive opportunity that I always feel underutilised. Poland's massive as a country, but they've got Lewandowski, so we'll see how they get on. Portugal, a certain Cristiano Ronaldo. It's probably going to be his last tournament, but you never know with him. He keeps saying he wants to go on forever and ever. So, Portugal always dangerous in tournament football. So let's see how they fare. You've got the host, Qatar. Don't know any of their players at all. Also Saudi Arabia, again, I don't know any of their players. But, it's good to see more Middle Eastern countries at the World Cup. And let's see how they fare. They should fare with the weather okay, and not so far to travel. So it'll be interesting. We've got Senegal. Unfortunately, Sadio Mane won't be here playing at the World Cup. He's injured. Real shame, because he had fantastic time when he was at Liverpool. I think it was 5-6 years there. Did a fantastic job after being taken from Southampton there, and I think the people are really seeing how much he gave to Liverpool. Now he's moved on to Bayern Munich. I'm not saying Liverpool miss him. I think that's disrespectful to some of the players that are still there. But it'd have been great to see Sadio Mane on the world stage, and obviously Senegal knocked out Egypt to qualify, and it was Mane against Salah, wasn't it, in that qualifying knockout. We've got Serbia. To be honest with you, not really seen much of Serbia. I think Mitrovic should be playing for Serbia, so there'll be a goal threat, that's for sure. Very strong, always got strong centre backs. Real, up and up at your centre backs. Never scared to put a foot in, but not always the best going forward. But with Mitrovic there, I'm sure they'll give anybody a game. And then we've got the Spanish. Love watching Spain in tournament football. Absolutely loved it. Love them. In the early 2000s when they were dominating world football with European and world champions, when they had your Iniestas, your Xavi, Fabregas, Torres, Casillas. Oh, what a team! What a squad! It wasn't even a team, was it? It was a squad of just amazing players, but not quite been at the same heights the last few years. So let's see how they fare. It'll be interesting. I'm interested to watch the Spanish this year, actually. They're probably going to be my second pick to be watching out for. Then we've got the Swiss. More Arsenal representation from the Swiss. We've obviously got Granit Xhaka. Turned his Arsenal career around in the last 18 months or so, and especially this season, having a great season. But the Swiss, they're another strange nation, aren't they, when it comes to football? Only, every now and again they'll pop up with a surprise. They'll have some real great players, but they usually huff and puff, but don't get too far. Another African contingent in Tunisia. It'd be good to see. Good to see the Tunisians. They can play some decent football. I know themselves in Morocco. At times, you can watch some of the African football, and they've got some players. Let it be said. Whether they can gel enough to get so far, I'm not sure. Then we've got USA. When we talk about underachievers in terms of football, soccer to the Americans, but it's such a massive nation. Now, I know they have some challenges because you've got baseball, you've got basketball, you've got American football, you've got ice hockey. And then, football really does come down the pecking order. But when you see the size and scale of their nation, how many athletes that they produce in all different sports year after year, in athletics as well, etc., you really do think that they should be a powerhouse of football. But they got some real half decent players. They've got Pulisic, who's at Chelsea. So we'll see how they fare this year. But I'm not too hopeful for America. Obviously, they're in England's group as well. And we've got Uruguay. Always dangerous, Uruguay. Always first ever World Cup champions. They got Darwin Núñez. I'm not sure if Luis Suarez is playing or not this year. I really should have checked it out. I know he went back over to Uruguay for a bit to play for his boyhood club, and they won the championship. So let's see how Uruguay fare. And I don't know. I think people forget about Uruguay when we talk about football. Okay, South American football. They are always there or thereabouts. They always qualify. They've been qualifying since I was a little boy, when I used to get my Panini sticker book. Mexico '86 was the first one I had. Let's see how they get on. And then last but by no means least, we've got Wales. We've already mentioned Wales. They are in England's group. Really, really interested to see Wales this year. I really do hope that they do themselves proud, that they feel they fare well enough, and they get up. I know. Look, I've got to put the England bias, as in my dislike for them at the moment because of the captain aside. But I do hope Wales do manage to get out of the group, and let's see them do something this year. So that was that's the rundown of all the teams. And we can see favourites and who are not so favourites. We'll go through that in a little bit, and let's see who we think's going to win the World Cup. So, sorry, I'm just putting my can of Coke down there. So you heard that bit of banging noise. It just shows when I do this. Sorry, it's very amateur podcasting, but I haven't got a professional studio, nor do I want one, actually. I love doing it how we do it. So we said we were going to have a look at the favourites for the World Cup. So, Brazil are favourites. They are outright favourites at the moment, 7-2. Then we've got Argentina, followed by France, England, Spain, Germany, Holland. So, no real shocks there, I don't think. You're always going to have Brazil and Argentina up there, thereabouts. It's usually Germany are further up that favourites list, aren't they, when it comes to tournament football? But we know with the Germans, they always get stronger in those latter stages of tournament football. I just wouldn't rule them out. I personally don't think they're going to, they don't look like they're setting the world alight, but you just never know. They've got something about them that they can do.